Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Hey Sister. Hey sister, how you doing?
Wonderful, sister. This is gonna try to come on. Hello, everyone. How about yourself?
I'm doing great too. I hope you all, if you're out there watching, come on in, come on, get in here, come on, get in here, and welcome to tonight's episode of Hey Sister. We're so excited to be with you all this evening. So welcome. Make sure that you like, follow, and share this episode. So, hey, Lakeisha, hey, Jody, how y'all doing? Anybody else? Who else is out there watching? Drop your names in. Hey, Tita, how you doing? Y'all drop y'all names in. Let us know. Hey, Rosalind, how y'all doing it? Yes, we're literally in the same neck of the woods. We're sitting next to one another, and we're so excited about this evening. So, welcome to Hey Sister. We are working through our tech thing here since we are in the same neck of the woods. But we really appreciate you all tuning in tonight for this night's episode of Hey Sister. Hi, Rashonda. Hey, Denise. How you doing? Listen, y'all. Tonight is an episode of Hot Topics. So first of all, I gotta say, hey, sister, how you doing? Since you sitting right here.
You already did that, Hello, sister. I am doing well. Thank you. All is well in my neck of the woods, which happens to be your neck of the woods.
How was your travels here from the great state of Arizona? What is it? Is it what is it? The what state?
The Grand Canyon.
Oh, okay, the Grand Canyon state. So from the Grand Canyon state over here to, I think we're the Palmetto. No, that's South Carolina. I don't even know. The Sunshine State. That's it. Look, y'all, it's 2020. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, my travels were wonderful. Right now, I've been traveling on your favorite airline, Southwest Airlines. But you don't have no issues with Southwest. But during Corona, they have stepped their game right on up. So, still not selling that middle seat. So that is fabulous. And didn't have to sit next to anyone. It wasn't a completely full flight. Well, not the guy. There was a guy at the window, but nobody was in the middle. And yeah, got to watch some TV, got to get some sleep, and it's all good. All good. And of course, I wiped everything down. So
Well, that's wonderful. So you guys gonna have, oh, the lips are popping. Thank you, Jody. We try. So you guys will have to tell us if you get any echo, any feedback. Like we said, we're doing something different because we actually are getting to be in the room together, which we're super excited about. It's hard to hear Christina. Yeah, I think something's funky with her headphones, so she might have to take those out and just kind of talk. Um,
okay, is it better if I do like this? No. All right. Hear me now. Yay. All right. Well, we'll go with that.
Okay, that sounds much better. So I see, hey, sister in Jackson, Mississippi, um, Felicia. Hey, yep. So she was saying it was hard to hear Christine as well, but I think we've got that fit. I do believe it's the headphones as well. Well, guys, we're going to jump into tonight into these hot topics, and we want you all to get involved in the hot topics as well. You tell us what you think, what's going on. We are going to be in rapid fire, rapid succession because they got so much to talk about tonight. Girl, what is going on with this year? Everything is like a hot stinking mess, right?
Yeah, it's 2020. So that's all I can say about it.
So we're going to start with marriages and
divorce.
Okay, yes, you gotta have to.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Whenever you didn't anything to me yet. I don't want it to be too loud.
Okay.
Yes, I don't want you to hear yourself.
But you're not muted over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. We got it. Anyway, see, it looks like we have a marriage and we might have a divorce going on soon at the rate the way this thing is going. But let me tell y'all something. Which one you want to talk about first, is because all right. One of the first ones we wanted to talk about was one Miss Niecy Nash. What say you? Y'all drop it down in the comments. Let us know what you think. Just a week or 2 weeks ago at this point, Niecy Nash announced she got a whole wife, and we were like, so you got a whole wife, you just had a whole husband, and your divorce was final like in June, and you filed for like, it was like, to me, the speed at which it all happened, honey, love is love is love, and I am cool with that. But child, some people move real quick. I don't know. What say you, sister?
Well, in the immortal words of Mr. Common, it don't take a whole day to recognize sunshine. And I guess Niecy saw her sunshine, and she is snatching up those rays right now. She's like, yeah, no, well, she filed for divorce in December of last year. Actually, the divorce was finalized in June of this year. But again, when you know what you want, he who finds a wife, she who finds a wife, finds a good thing. So I'm not mad at it. My comment has been that I guess a lot of people didn't know Niecy was on the block. And there's a lot of sisters out there like, she fine and she got money. I ain't even know. I would have hollered at her. Not me. But I'm saying that's what some sisters might be feeling some kind of way, because they didn't even know they had a chance, since she had 2 previous husbands. So they didn't know that she had decided to dip into the lady pond, and they missed out on their opportunity. But more power and more blessings to them. I really do genuinely pray that this brings her peace and happiness, and maybe this resolves maybe some of the challenges that she had before in some of her previous marriages.
Maybe I don't know, but I like this comment here. Lord, Niecy changed joystick. Sister Nadine faded on that, honey. And listen, I was faded too. I was like, girl, what you doing, girl? Wait, I'm confused there. So it said maybe it's a ratings thing. I don't know. LOL had a chance. Hey, look, everybody. Sometimes we have those moments in history, right? We talked about that earlier offline, personally. How when one Mr. Jermaine Dupri started dating Janet Jackson, we know every brother around the world was like, well, dang, if I'd have known it was that easy, I'd have shot my shot, right? So it's the same kind of concept here. So. I was shocked, honestly, but as long as she's happy, hey, whatever makes her happy. We had another comment that said she don't let grass get green under her feet or something. Yeah, some of us move real quick. Mine didn't work out, but hey, more power to them. And I bet even more women who will come out now liking women. Hey, I don't know whether more women will come out liking women. I just know that relationships, marriages are serious entanglements, and there's a lot to detangle. And having been married, she had been married twice in a matter of months, because even if she, in her own mind, before the contract of the marriage was dissolved by the state, if that marriage was dissolved in her mind last December, it's not even a year, and we done had a whole wedding. And I'm like, my girl, you need a whole nother wedding dress and reception and all that, like for the 3rd time? I don't know, y'all. That's a little much for me. I don't know, sister. What you say about that part?
Well, to that part, I would say that I was shocked. I was like, oh, we wearing white again. We wearing white again. All right. And a whole veil. I mean,
they obviously spent money on this occasion. But then again, I said maybe this is her wife's first marriage, and so maybe she felt like she wanted to give that special moment to her wife, and make sure that she too felt like she had, you know, all the bells and whistles that you would have in a traditional wedding. And let's face it, it's COVID. So right now, folks are like, I got to get it in because we don't know how this world is operating. It's so much madness, sadness, things happening crazy. So, you know, maybe she just was like, let's do it big. Maybe this one is the forever. So she's like, we got to do it big, right? So go, Niecy. New day, new dress. I like that.
Well, they all been big. So yeah. So anyway, well, we've talked a little bit about a marriage. Now let's talk a little bit about a divorce. So if y'all have not read, Dr. Dre and his wife are dissolving their marriage and 24 years. Nicole, right? Nicole Young. Yeah, that's her name. Let me tell you something. If y'all haven't seen that spousal support that girl is petitioning for this year, or no, for the next few months until they get to the finalization, whatever is like 1.9 million. She kind of dropped it down a little bit, like 900,000 a month for entertainment, 20,000 a month for cell phone and emails, $60,000 a month for education, tuition, and I was like, now listen. I'm gonna tell y'all this how I feel. Girl, get all your money, get all your papers. She deserves all the papers. She done took her licks. He got to take his lick. I'm cool with everything she asking for, but child, $900,000 a month for entertainment? Like, I'm kind of like, what kind of $135,000 a month for clothes and $10,000 a month for laundry? I'm like, what kind of bills is that? I don't even know.
Well, what we will say again, we've done the math. If Dr. Dre is indeed a billionaire at this point, I know he may be just shy, but let's round up for the sake of mathematics. And she's asking for $2 million a month. I think we did the math on that to be 0.2% of his total net worth. I mean, Jeff Bezos' wife got half of his, and at the time, I want to say that equated to about, I don't remember, but it was a lot. And so, you know, it could be half. I mean, it could just be half. I don't understand why we were itemizing. I don't know who asked for the itemized list, but when you itemize it, girl, it does look crazy that you spending $60,000 a month on education, and this is listed under spousal support. So my thing is this separate from child support? Are all their children grown and there's no more child support for underage children? If so, like, again, yeah, $60,000 a month, as another comedian said, Yale costs $51,000 a year. So the math on those things doesn't necessarily pan out, but hey, she's gotten the lickings and she's kept on ticking for 24 years. So more power to her if a judge gives it to her.
Run that woman her coins, as they say. So let's look at some of these comments here. We got some real good comments in here. So look, okay, so this was about the previous in terms of divorce. So I'm just finally getting over mine, and it will be 2 years this November. But hey, I have no idea. It took me a while to get through my divorce and still not ready for another relationship. But hey, that's just me. Right. To each his own. Go, Niecy. Do you, girl, boo. Do you, boo. Come on, hey, sister, and let's talk about it. Felicia says, so if the common denominator doesn't change, it may be time for some alone time. But hey, COVID loneliness might be the reason. Who knows? I don't know. If you get married again, wear something that day. Okay, whatever. Okay, do you, boo. I need 900,000 a month entertainment. Listen, I love that, honey. That entertainment must include travel and meals and some other. And then I want to know, but who you entertaining like that? Because he was in the industry, so you're not really hosting those events anymore. Maybe you are. I don't know. I'm confused. Yep, 24 million per nick. Get your coins. Get your coins, boo. Get your coins. Yes, the itemized list was a mess. It makes it look a little bit crazy. Divorce manifests spiritually before it does physically, and if you've been in that lifestyle for 20 plus years, you got to maintain it. I guess it's like you said here, it's cheaper to keep her sometimes. If you don't ask, you don't get. Start high and see what you get. Hey, as they say, shoot for the stars and shoot for the moon, and maybe you'll land amongst the stars. How about that? Yeah. All right. Jeff's wife was listed as now the richest woman in the world. Absolutely, because she got half of what was $1 billion at that time. But he was like, I'm gonna take this lick and keep on ticking. He didn't have a prenup. I think in Dr. Dre's situation, there was a prenup. He didn't have a prenup, but guess what? He a trillionaire now. So ain't heard him one single iota bit. Not one single iota bit. We got a lot more good comments in here, but y'all, we got to get into this next topic, and we want to talk about the Verzuz, Brandy versus Monica. I'm gonna just tell y'all, I was a little bored by it all. I saw their numbers were good. I was like, cool. I was like excited for them, but I tuned in, and it just didn't give me that vibe and energy that I need. I know that when I like Erykah Badu, they gave me that energy, that vibe. I know Beanie Man, when they were on, like they had that Caribbean vibe was strong. That Snoop and DMX, that energy, Jill Scott, Erykah, that energy. The energy just was not the same, but they had the best numbers. Brandy and Monica had the best numbers, and they blew it out the water. But sister, I know you watched it, but it did still take you like 3-4 days to watch the whole dang on thing. So you couldn't have liked the energy that much either.
Well, it's not that I didn't like the energy. There were lulls. Okay, they did a lot of conversing. Brandy had a lot of points. The shoes. I know y'all saying these shoes are cute online, and I've looked them up. They're still not cute to me. It just felt like Monica was way Fendi down, overdressed. Brandy was like the what is it, boho chic, I guess. At the end of the day, I am very happy that they have hit numbers. So I think on Apple's R&B and soul, they have occupied 30 of the top 40 places now. People are rediscovering their music. That's the beautiful part of this. They had over 1.2 million viewers. That's the beautiful part. Another win for the culture. I just want us to show up in those kind of numbers when it's time to vote. And yeah, but you're right. There were some lulls in the conversation.
Listen, my girl said it right here. She still got a whole hour to get through. She still got a whole. Thank you, Keisha. They were late and had the nerve to take a break. Where they do that at? Loved it. Okay, cool. Brandy versus Monica. Drink, please. Please. And somebody agreed. They felt the same way. That energy was so off. But like she said, 1.2 million. They are in all the top the list. Record sales are through the roof. So I think it's fantastic. But I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all don't get y'all out here and vote like in them same numbers, I'm letting y'all know right now. We don't want to hear nothing else. How about that? Another one said, I got through it, but I was so ready for it to end. Like sis said, the DJ was fine for the Brandy versus Monica. Yeah, I guess the DJ was just boring. And that just like broke my heart because that energy from Jill and Jill and Erykah wasn't even in the same room. Y'all know if Jill and Erykah was in the same room, we would have had some incense blowing, some patchouli rolling. We would have had the spirits of the gods up in that room that night. These heifers was in the same room and couldn't even give us no life. And Snoop and DMX, oh my God, they gave me so much black boy joy. They were so like, that vibe was so good. Brandy and Monica.
But listen, that's also because Snoop keeps a requisite amount of marijuana on hand. I mean, but I think Brandy and Monica, I loved it. I loved the music. It was from my era, so I was feeling it. I can't say that either one of them won, in my opinion, because I thought both of them were great and in their own right. You know, Brandy was definitely like an it girl when we were growing up, and then Monica has become more of our mature sister girlfriend. Now, my biggest issue for all y'all who saw it, did you catch the tease that it seems like she and C Murder, one Mr. Corey Miller, despite the jail walls that separate them, that there is still a lot of love and loyalty in that relationship. That is what tripped me out. But other than that, you know, they were, you know, look, they ain't talked to each other in 8 years. What can we really expect for two people who ain't talked in 8 years to come into the room and then try to, you know, be friends and be joyous? I don't know. They were doing the best they could, I guess.
I guess they did the best they could with what they have. I ain't got no judgment against it, whatever. But who do y'all want to see next on Verzuz? Now, I saw people talking about Mary J, and I was like, girl, if Mary J and Mariah, I would watch that. Because those two crazy heifers, that would be great television. Don't y'all think so? Don't y'all think that'd be like a great Instagram live? And then this meme I saw posted. Now, this meme cracked me up. It said, it was India Arie versus Lauryn Hill, but Lauryn Hill picture wasn't there. So y'all know, I'm here for it. I love all the Verzuz. So, but we got to get into another hot topic tonight. Lord Jesus, I don't know why, but this clown has been acting a straight donkey. A straight donkey. The current White House resident in the last few weeks have just been acting a straight donkey. So now we have the audacity to say that anti-racism and anti-discrimination training and work and unconscious bias training and work is anti-American and racist. I am over it. Now that part, over it. Then these fools go out into Lake Travis outside of Austin, where I used to live, and they want to have a boat parade, and then they asses because they want to like all rev their boats up at the same time and boats sink and all that.
Well, okay, so let me just say, number one, Lakeisha, I agree with you, Mary J. and Faith. That's exactly what I said. My sister was like, no, she felt like it would be Mariah Carey. I feel like Mariah it's just too disparate. I think they're both great, but it's just the genres are too disparate. All right. Now, back to y'all's presidents. So, you know, I think I'm at the point, I'm at the point, and I posted this on Facebook, that you know, a few years ago, I think it was 8 years ago, my friend posted something that said she wonders if people who hate Obama, if they hate her too. And I changed it. I said, you know, now I feel like, do people who love Trump hate me? And I feel like the answer is yes. And I don't feel like there's any more excuses for this idea that he's not racist. I don't know at what point you could say he is no longer racist. And by eliminating these anti-racism or any training, I mean, most corporations, good, bad, otherwise, have some level of equality training or you know, unconscious bias training or what have you. I honestly cannot understand how anybody says at this point, I'm not racist, but they continuously support someone who says, you know, the anti-discriminatory housing policies that HUD had in place, he's reversed those. He is now taking out these trainings. He is he's called black men obviously out of their names on numerous occasions. He has not condemned the state-sponsored murder of black men and women who have been unarmed, and he did not. And then he had the audacity, this kid who went to Kenosha, Wisconsin, to basically suggest, oh, well, he was being attacked, so to justify his actions, and his actions were simply unjustifiable. So I'm just at the point where it's like I can't rock with anybody who rocks with this dude, because his whole presidency was a marketing campaign, and I don't know how America fell for the okie doke. So that's my opinion about that.
We got a comment here, said there was bigots in boats all weekend. Yesterday, Morgan City, today, Grand Isle. It was disgusting. Yep. One for you, our great state of Louisiana. And where are you ranked currently in any of the national rankings on anything from education to health? Oh, probably still at the bottom. Keep going that direction. Let's see. I have some other dream versus battles. We talked about the Isley Brothers versus the Gap Band. That might be a good one. We talked about that here in our house. If he wasn't, the racists wouldn't support him. They know his spirit, honey. We know the birds of a feather. They certainly do what? Flock together.
Or they vote together. They sink each other in the Lake Travis.
He blew a dog whistle. Look at what it attracted. Absolutely. He's a sore loser and sucker. They had a 45 boat ride in sunny San Diego. And so that is also what really is so telling and says so much. This is pervasive. This is pervasive. The level of and this is the thing. What do you like about someone who just, I mean, so they like the big talk because he ain't never done nothing, like, really. You know, his daddy gave him money. If his daddy hadn't gave him money, he wouldn't have had it. He had lost all his businesses until Mark Brunette and NBC came along. Like, it's like, someone who is a blowhard, who just talks a good game, but really hasn't accomplished or achieved anything, and continuing trying to dismantle this country, and it's really sad and scary. It's absolutely scary.
The last thing I just want to say here is, and this is why we Black people specifically, I'm talking to us, HBCU grads specifically, I'm talking to us, Christians, Black Christians, I'm talking to us. This is why we can't fall for the okie doke on these 1-2 little things that he does. Okay, so he re-signed a bill that had already been signed many times over by many presidents, and somehow he believes that he's done more for HBCUs than any other president. Now, this is the same man who thinks he created Juneteenth or brought Juneteenth to our collective attention. We can't fall for the okie doke with these little gimmies and think that, oh, but he did this for us. And then when and anybody, like, I'm fully offended when anybody tries to tell me as a Black person how much better my life is because Donald Trump is in office. And it's like, you don't get to dictate to me what my life was before, because this idea that all of us are living, I guess, in Chicago, or because that's the name that they go to, that's what they go to all the time, or the inner cities, or the ghettos, or we're all in jail, or we, like, we're not educated, what have you. No, we very much make money, spend money, pay taxes, and we just can't take these little crumbs and use that as to suggest that the good outweighs the bad. Because in this person, not only does the good not outweigh the bad, he is just genuinely a horrible individual, period, point blank.
And if you haven't read the Atlantic article on his commentary about the military, I mean, once again, it's insult to injury. But the people who support him, they won't read it. I don't know how anybody is undecided at this point, but based on, like we said, if you see these parades and these gatherings, all across this country from coast to coast, I don't know what the hypnosis is, but folks need to wake up because we are on our way to becoming a handmaid's tale, and that's a fact. So our next hot topic is girl, she tried it. Girl, she tried it, didn't she?
All right, so let me get this woman's name because this is the thing. It's so funny how people who never accomplished much of anything in their lives are quick to try to tear somebody else down. So this, if you all haven't heard, there's this woman named Deanna Lorraine, and I believe her claim to fame is that she lost to Nancy Pelosi. She basically put out this tweet saying, you know, how great after Melania's speech, which, let's be clear, just because somebody can string sentences together and like for them, it was their best thing, doesn't mean it was good. Nonetheless, after Melania's speech, she basically put something out like, oh, well, she, you know, she's such a role model, not like Cardi B and what have you. So Cardi B, of course, told her a little bit and said, from what she understood, Melania sold that WAP herself. So you guys have to go check out the tweets. But the reason I wanted us to talk about this is because, again, as women, it baffles me, again, the narrative that people say to themselves. Now, Cardi B is like 25, 26, maybe 27 years old. Okay, she is a former exotic dancer, but she used her time on a reality show wisely and has since become an international star. She has genuinely used her gift, her talent to do something with her life. She did not marry a man for his money or citizenship or anything like this. And so for people to suggest that because she's this 27-year-old woman making a song, that she is not fit to be a role model. But Melania Trump, who has multiple naked pictures swirling on the internet, who we know every day slaps that man's hand away from her, so we know she ain't in it for love. And who, what was it you said? That she redid her prenup? Mm-hmm. Yeah, redid her prenup in time for, I guess, in case he should go to glory or whatever should happen when he doesn't win, because I'm going to claim it in the name of Jesus. When he doesn't win again, it's like you guys can, to have the audacity to call Cardi B to suggest that she's not a role model, but Melania Trump is. I'm confused, and I'm with Cardi on that one. I believe Deanna, maybe you don't know, but yes, your first lady was selling some WAP. Mm-hmm, she was.
Listen, she ain't the only one who tried it this week in that family. So Deanna tried it with, like you said, and Cardi's post was, didn't she used to sell that WAP, and posted the pictures of her, all the pictures, like she said, there are plenty of them. We know she sold that WAP. She was selling that WAP when he was married to what's that last one? Marla Maples, and then got with Melania. So girl, bye. She tried it. Tiffany Trump, like, you ain't even the daughter he liked. Okay, let's talk about that. She tried it because she want to post something about Joe Biden being a liar. Girl, your mama, Ivana, because see, we remember Ivana was the wife. But your mom, Marla, got with the man when he was with Ivana. And then when your mom got too tired, then it was with the Melania. But all right, boo, and you won't call Joe Biden a liar? Girl, your daddy lives in lies. Stop it. Please. Girl, she tried it. I'm done with these people. I'm done with the lies. And here we got another one. And how they talk about Kamala after having Melania in the residence who married for money and posed bucky naked. Whoo, child, by reading that one book after middle school, and it wasn't worship and praise, honey. Listen, do they even know what praise is? I don't listen. Trump is as big as light, and y'all killing me tonight. Listen, tonight is all about hot topics, and it's been foolish. Like everything you've been posting about it too. I've been seeing your posts on social media, Dr. Ken. It's too much. And it's just like I'm so over it. And I'm with you. You are not gonna judge Cardi B for talking about her sexuality. Like if a woman wants to talk about, if a grown woman want to talk about her sexuality, that is that grown woman's prerogative. I am over it. I am over this faux Christianity and faux purity and this faux puritanical, and it only applies to certain people or certain segments of the population, as in the policing of the bodies of Black women. Done.
Well, speaking of that, sister, well, why don't we just go ahead and talk about the church? Because I feel like we're talking about policing of the bodies. let's talk about the church.
And y'all see how we spelled it. The church. Now, like, okay, so much church. One Mr. Jerry Falwell Jr. likes to sit in the corners and watch, as we were told by the pool boy, who was a business partner. How the pool boy became a business partner in the first place? Because see, somebody come clean our pool either. They don't even come in our house and talk about business. So I don't even know how the pool boy became a business partner. But I digress. And then he had the nerve to throw his wife under the bus. She had it was her relationship. Oh, but you was over there in the corner because the boy got a recording with you on the phone with him and the wife. Stop it with the lies now, please. But as he said, he was never a minister. He just ran this, his father was the minister. He just was the business behind the Christian University, Liberty University. Oh, okay. So we got that fool over there. Then we got this other fool, John Gray. How many times? So we know we got Sister Nadine Felicia Brookins, who wrote about Sister Nadine up here. I know you guys.
Oh, I thought you was looking for Sister Nadine to come. So listen. As far as Jerry is concerned, my problem is, yes, you may not be a minister. You are absolutely correct. However, you walk around with this righteous indignation and you look down on other people and suggest that the way your Christian walk is, it is superior to those others that you otherized, and that their Christian walk is not sufficient. Yours is the right one. You have supported Donald Trump, and you guys have all, again, buddy with this fella who did not even know 2 Corinthians. And you guys still trust that he knows Jesus. He may have heard a story or two, but I don't think he has a personal relationship. So yeah, no, you're not a minister, but you do run a Christian school, and you do put your opinion out there very often about how other Christians should be living, who they should be voting for, who they should support, etc. So yeah, I'm gonna throw you in there. And then John Gray, there was an article on the Griot, and I'm just with and I don't have the young lady's name who wrote it, but I'm with her. Like, the only thing relentless, because his name of his church is Relentless Church. She's like, the only thing relentless is the way you keep embarrassing your wife. But here's what I'm going to say. And this goes back to what happened with Dr. Dre. And we were talking about Dr. Dre and his wife earlier. Listen, if you marry somebody for money, you're going to earn every penny of it. That is what Robert Payne always says. And you know, he cheated before. He gave you a little Lamborghini. You was riding and flossing and flexing. Now he's done it. The first time it was emotional. This time, I guess it went from emotional to he got some pictures but they never slept together. Look, it doesn't matter. If you're supposed to be a man of God, you're supposed to be at a level of relationship with God that is higher, deeper, more intense than those of us who out here trying to figure it out. And if we're coming to you to be the guide and help lead us, if you're the leader of the flock and you keep falling off, then why are we following you? I don't understand your role. If you're gonna say, oh well, and for the good Christians, oh, he's just a man. He's just a man is just an excuse. You can be a man and not sit up here and keep embarrassing your wife by dealing with other women. Maybe you should really come to terms with the fact that maybe you don't really want to be married. Maybe you want to be married, but you and your wife are well aware of what y'all's situation is. I don't know. It frustrates me because I don't expect men to be perfect, but I don't expect ministers to be perfect. I know we all fall short of the glory, but I think the main thing, as people have said, if you're going to go to counseling, then you got to do the work. Don't just sit up here and say, oh, I apologize, without actually saying you apologize. And then sit up here and do it again. And then, I don't know. I'll turn it back over to you, sister, because I don't know. I'm at a loss.
If you do something one time, that's a mistake. If it's a repeated pattern of behavior, that's a choice. And he's been making choices. And my challenge with it is, and we're all human beings, as you said, we all fall short of the glory of God. We all are sinners on this journey, but I'm not in the pulpit. I'm not in the pulpit claiming to lead others. So that's where my distinction, because you can be a man of God and fall. And when you fall, you step out of leadership. You fall back. And let someone else who can be that true leader, that model, that example, let them take the helm and you fall back until you get your stuff together. But that's one of the reasons there's so much hypocrisy right now on all levels. And anybody, there's so much hypocrisy out there with Christianity that this is one of the reasons why people are fading away and falling away from the church, from all sorts of organized religion. I mean, from the Catholic Church to all of what they've done, the Baptist churches to all of what they've done with their sex scandals, and these ministers, the evangelical preachers, with all of their foolishness and shenanigans. All of y'all, full stop. None of y'all are following Christ, but you are following that almighty dollar, and we get that. We have a whole bunch of comments. Let me read through a few of the comments. Let's see what we got. 45 ain't been knowing about his church showing his new Bible. This one, see, Sister Nadine, I still got your book right here, girl. See, child, listen, holding the Bible upside down, hot mess. John Gray need his Peter tied up. He apparently trying to make up for not getting it. I guess, honey, listen. Whew, I don't even want to go there. I'm not even going there right now. Let's see. That's the comment I wrote. I love this. If you marry someone for money, you are gonna earn every penny. That was a powerful quote right there. Thank you, Robert Payne, for that. Wherever you're at, hopefully you're watching. I packed that Lamborghini up, bust his head open, and go see my attorney. Listen, she needs to be asking for some $900,000 a month for some entertainment. That's what she needs to be asking for. I hate the first time he did it. He went around talking about sisters need to clock themselves in wife robe. And I hate he turned it around and blamed the single women. Yes, he clowned. He clowned. But he the damn clown. But whoever else is going back to his church, they even more foolish. they are even more foolish, because someone said it earlier, as we were talking about 45, delusional is a disease. These people in some of these churches is delusional, and that's a disease as well. You have to selfish for that though. You have to be unselfish for that though.
Yeah, when you were saying step out of the pool.
Yes, yeah, to step out of pool. Listen, I just cannot. Yeah, I'm so over it. Sister Nadine said he needs to be whipped bucket naked for shame in the church. Absolutely. He needs to be whipped, tore down, beat down. And here's the thing, like we said, nobody's perfect. We all fall short from the glory of God. But I tell you what, this is just absolutely ridiculous. We have a more serious topic to talk about right now, and then I'm going to save a more lighthearted topic for the end, because this topic is so very serious. So at this point, we've all seen the footage of Mr. Daniel Prude, who was killed by police, or in police custody in Rochester, New York. And there have been protests that have been going on ever since, because the family had been pushing. This happened months ago. This happened even before George Floyd it happened, which was in May. So this happened even before then. And the family has been pushing and pushing and pushing for those body camera footage to be released. It's now been made public. And we see this man who, when I saw it immediately, I could tell that this man was in a crisis. And he was in a mental health crisis. And that's what his brother called for help, for him being in a mental health crisis. And to see that, him being naked in the street, them putting that hood over him, and all of these different things has absolutely incensed me. And it just reminds me of, people like to twist the whole defund the police argument. The police didn't need to respond to that mental health crisis. Some social workers and some counselors needed to be on response. And if police were there to help bring him into custody so that we could put him in a mental institution and get him hospitalized and help stabilize him, that's an appropriate response. But police is supposed to be for criminal activity, and there was not criminal activity. And I'm just sick of it, and I'm over it. And we put his full name here, because at first I thought about titling this section not another hashtag, but this is not hashtag. These are human beings, and I am over it.
So I think what really bothers me the most. So the other day I had a situation where someone, Denise Toops, can appreciate that somebody from our hometown got on one of my other friends' page and basically tried to tell him, because my friend was expressing, my friend is a Black man who's, joined us on Hey Sister in the past. He was expressing, just this feeling of being, like, I know he's truly hurt and he's dealing with a lot, seeing these images, as many of us are, repeatedly over and over and over again. And we hear so often, well, they should just comply. And the fact of the matter is, we have evidence that compliance does not mean that you're going to make it home alive. So this, dare I say, a white male who's a Trump supporter from my hometown got online and basically told this friend of ours that he couldn't even consider him a Christian brother anymore. And that really got up under my skin. And that got up under my skin because that's part of the problem with a lot of people who claim to be Christians but don't understand what our argument about police brutality and the killing of unarmed Black men and women is about. The thing about it is because he later came back and said Philando Castile was killed by a Hispanic man, so that doesn't fit our narrative. No, that doesn't fit your narrative, because in your narrative, in your limited scope, in your small mind, the argument, the thing that you hear us saying is this is about white police officers killing Black men and Black women. That's not what this is about. This is about police officers. I don't care your color, ethnicity, hue, shade, creed, none of that. Killing people who we're calling the police to do their job. and you're killing people for things as minor as traffic stops. And then in this case with Mr. Prude, somebody who's having a psychiatric break. And so the idea that we have nobody to turn to, that, again, hardworking, tax-paying citizens, we fund the police with our tax dollars, and we cannot even get in return from them what they are supposed to do for us. They are supposed to protect and to serve. And the fact that you cannot even call them to help in an emergency situation is problematic. It's enraging. Similarly in Phoenix, again, I live in Arizona. We had a Hispanic man who was, his grandmother called the police, or Latinx man, his grandmother called the police because he had taken some cocaine and he was acting erratically. He was naked, just like Mr. Prude. So he didn't have a weapon on him, and he ended up dead. This is not about the color of the police. This is about the fact that they cannot be held. They do not, and I'm saying they collectively, they have an issue when it comes to Black and brown people and how to deal with us. And when we are not even an actual threat, they don't know how to deal with us. But when they see an actual threat in a white man or woman, they seemingly understand how to proceed. And to me, if you're that afraid, if you're that threatened, if you don't know how to de-escalate, then being a police officer is not your deal. I mean, again, going back to John Gray, if you can't do ministry correctly, maybe Jesus didn't call you to the ministry. Maybe he called you to be a deacon. Well, maybe some of these police officers are not being called to be police officers. Maybe you were called to do, I don't know, administrative work. I don't know, but it is so frustrating that we have nobody to go to. Yet we're spending our tax dollars to watch people kill folks and then get put on administrative leave. And then when you see something as egregious as what happened to Daniel Prude, and nobody takes accountability or responsibility, they don't step down, again, back to what you just said about John Gray, they don't step out of the leadership role because they failed to be leaders. The last thing I'll say, and I read this a while back, and I think I might have said it before, people always say that all police aren't bad, that there's just a few bad apples. Well, if that is genuinely the case, number one, why are more of the good ones not speaking up against it? Why are more of the good ones not saying, I don't want to be associated with people like you? So maybe the truth of the matter is, and I hate to say this, but this is how I've been feeling, maybe the truth of the matter is that all police are bad and there's just a few good apples. So that's all I have to say about that.
Well, I must say this, about that whole apple analogy. Here's the thing with a bad apple, because people like say one bad apple don't spoil the whole bunch. That's true if you don't remove that apple. But if you don't remove that apple, it will. If you leave that bad apple there, it will spoil that whole bunch. Because what happens, that mold, that mildew, that infection, it spreads to those good apples. And that's the issue I think we're dealing with the police, is because the bad apples have not been removed. The bad apples have been allowed to go to other police, other cities, other jurisdiction, other policing agencies and organizations. And that is what the problem is. And we all have seen it. You bought a pint of strawberries, and that one little strawberry, get that little fuzz on it. And if you don't remove that strawberry, but the next day you come back, you got 4, 5, and you leave it there, and watch how quickly that whole pint of strawberries goes bad, right? And that is the main issue that I have. So we have, it's the training of their mindset when it comes to skin tones, kissed by the sun. It takes self-discipline and honor for both of those roles. Absolutely. We have some agreement. Exactly. Yes, ma'am. And well, hey, all planes don't crash, but we don't want to be on the one that does. Absolutely. All planes don't crash, but they sure did ground after 2 crashes. They ground a whole flight, a whole fleet of Boeing's planes. And they having to read those 737A Max, 8A Max, whatever it was called, and they had to redo that whole fleet. They had to redo that whole fleet. So I don't know. This has to stop. And we have to, and we, the people, are going to be the only ones that are going to be able to make it stop. So, to his family, we pray for his family, and that all the families have the wherewithal to keep up the good fight, because their fight is our fight. So that's the last thing I want to say about that. Oh, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one, because I'm so sick of these fools.
Well, all right then. So there was a Professor Jessica A. Krug, I guess that's how you pronounce her last name, Krug, who recently wrote a blog on Medium about the fact that she has been a professor at George Washington University in African and African American studies. And she has claimed various degrees of Blackness. And so now she has come out to say, hey,
I ain't black, y'all.
People are comparing her, of course, to Rachel Dolezal. We all remember Miss Dolezal, who I can't remember her new name now, but who was the president of the NAACP. I believe that was in Seattle or Portland, or I don't remember which one, but anyway, so Professor Krug, she's a white Jewish woman from Kansas, and she is claiming mental health reasons and trauma as a child for why she has distanced herself from her whiteness and has claimed her Blackness. She had a very long blog on Medium. If you got about 15 minutes, sit down and read it. My issue with the blog, I guess, is she said a lot and never once said, you know what, I'm sorry and I was wrong. She talked a lot about, she didn't refer to herself as a culture vulture. I forgot it was a culture something else. But it was a very extensive blog. I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess there's a part of me that's kind of like, hey girl, come on, get this oppression. I'm tired. Let me give some of it to you. But as we were talking about earlier, I think the difference is that, if she wanted to, she could turn it on and off. We don't have the luxury of turning it on and off. So I don't know, sister. I want to hear your opinion. What do you think about Miss Jessica?
I'm typing her name in here so y'all can go find it. I was trying to, there's so many articles on it. And now George Washington University, she won't be teaching this fall. I don't know how the hell I got this fall. Okay, because I'm trying to figure out, okay, this whole identity thing. So we know race is a made up construct, right? We got that, we clear on that, whatever. But I don't know how this heifer made it this far. And now you mental ill? No. I don't know. I am so infuriated by this. And I'm infuriated because, like we said, we don't have the luxury of going in and out of our Blackness. We live it every day. So I'm just not here for it. I'm incensed, but I'm also incensed that no one along the way found this out. Like, now she wants to have a mea culpa moment. I am so just aggravated with whether it's a Jessica, it's a Rachel Dolezal, it's a, thank you for dropping that article in there.
Oh no,
We help make that monster. We help make all of these monsters. The Kardashian clan, we help make those monsters too. And I'm tired of them. Would they purchase lips and hips?
But Kim is helping get black people out of jail. So
You know, in the words of Monica, so over you, ooh, 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 whatever. Anyway, I am just sick of it. And it's you know, so thank you for having your mea culpa moment. But the other thing in her mea culpa moment, as you said, there was no apology. So the level of narcissism, the level of white supremacy, even in her statement, because now you can say, you know what, it's no longer serving me to be black, so I'm not going to be black no more. But you know, what?
well, I don't know if it's no longer serving her. I mean, perhaps now in this time of racial reckoning for some white people, she may just be like, hey, I gotta come clean. I mean, listen, again, I don't get it. I don't get it. I love, love. And despite all of our hardships and our trauma, I love being a black woman. But then again, I've never experienced the privilege of being a white person. So I just say, well, it must have been really traumatic for her if her decision was to go on ahead and like Rachel Dolezal, decide to be black in a world where blackness is not appreciated. It's appropriated, but it's not appreciated. So I don't know. I don't know what happens and what I don't know. I don't know. But additionally, if any of you are on Instagram, there's an account called Daquan. 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 Daquan has a lot of funny memes, and Daquan is supposedly Ethiopian. Now, I'm hearing various stories about Daquan, but what has happened is Daquan has sold for $85 million. And in the sale, it has been discovered that the person who's getting the cash for it is not a black person. So now again, I've heard stories that it's two Israeli owners and a third owner is the black guy who actually started it, or the African guy who actually started the IG page, and that he wants to continue to remain anonymous, and that's why he is not the front person at all. You know, no one knows who he is or what have you. He wants to continue to remain anonymous. But it's just funny because when it was sent to me, my friend who sent it to me, I was like, now, you know, if a real Daquan was selling that site, he would have gotten 85,000 instead of 85 million. My friend was like, no, $850. So it's just, this goes back to what you were just saying, even about the Kardashians and stuff. We have got to stop allowing people to appropriate our culture and make money off of it. And I know we are not a monolith. I know we are very intricate people. I get it. But when somebody is, I mean, even recently with Adele, you know, having her Jamaican bathing suit on and her hair in the Bantu knots, a lot of people took issue with that. And the question came, is it appreciation or is it appropriation? A young woman who is a cultural scholar said it was appropriation when she did her hair in the Bantu knots, because if black women wear those same hairstyles and they are deemed ghetto or unprofessional, then you wearing it made it a costume. And I was like, I never really thought about it. I didn't know how to articulate it, but that was an amazing way to articulate it. So, I mean, I guess, I don't know. We have to do our due diligence in telling people stop. Like, you're not allowed to do that, and being okay with it, and making them, I mean, because Daquan got 85 million, and I'm just like, yeah, I would, if I had come up with Daquan, I don't think that I would have gotten 85 million. So, culture vultures.
Like the Daquan account got 85 million, like Steve Nash got offered a head coaching job and never head coached a day in his life. Like you know, Kylie Jenner becoming like the having this makeup line and whatever. You know what? Our dollars, our eyeballs, our clicks, our likes, they have value. And so we have the responsibility of doing our due diligence. So we want that value to be placed in the right place. And that's what it boils down to at the end of the day. So let's see. Well, when it profits others, they play the culture role, most definitely. Y'all have given me so much homework to catch up on. Honey, listen, this last 2 weeks has been a hot, stinking mess. Playing back is fun. It's just a game for them. And most definitely. So it's a game for many people, but it's not a game for us because we live it and we don't have the luxury of turning it on and turning it off. We carry this each and every day in every fiber of our being, and we want the best for our people. Hey, we want the best for all people. We really want the best for all of us. And what we know is that if all of us can't win, then none of us truly are winning. So I don't know. I wish I had music for this next selection, but this is gonna be our last high topic for the night.
I want to tell one thing to the people. Now listen, don't y'all let nobody come up here talking about some, hey sister, how you doing? So white girls talking about they went to HBCUs. Y'all better support hey sister. Don't have us getting played out here in these streets. No, I'm just playing with y'all. But they'll do it. I mean, I'm sure there's already hey sisters that are not Black, but y'all feel what I'm saying. Okay.
Y'all heard what she said. Y'all like, follow, and share. Y'all make sure y'all do that attribution correctly. But no, I don't know. We hey sister. Y'all know hey sister. You know hey sister, how you doing? Y'all see them colors. Y'all see our little logo. Don't let nobody be stealing our stuff and trying to come on with another hey sister. We ain't having that now. No. Woo, child. I know. Yes. I'm serious though. But this last topic, if you ain't been watching Down in the Valley where the girls get naked, you hold up a stack and they gonna shake it. Hey. Whoa. WAP, honey. That's what a WAP is at for sure, down at the Pynk. And if y'all don't know what the Pynk is all about and you have not watched the show on Stars P Valley, you don't know what you have missed. We have enjoyed it thoroughly. We have enjoyed the character development. We are two girls from a small town in Louisiana. We recognize the Pynk. If y'all ain't never been to a place like the Pynk, then you ain't been living. Just trust and believe. They got good memories that happen at places like the Pynk. But I will tell you, P Valley really enjoyed this series. It had its finale today. Some of you might be watching the finale right now. I don't know. I really enjoyed this series and everything that it was all about, and the character development, the complexity of the characters, the depth of the stories, and just like as I have that love for Pose, where you get an inside view into another really another culture. There is ballroom culture. There is strip club culture. There is, small town culture, poor community culture. It's based in a fictional Chucalissa, Mississippi. But guess what? We've been to places like Chucalissa, Mississippi. We know exactly where those places are. And I just loved it. I don't know, sister, what you thought about Down in the Valley?
Well, I was preparing for a funeral and I had put on my black dress, but the funeral wasn't the funeral that I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to ruin it for folks on the West Coast because I know how that is as well. I think that shout out first of all to Katori Hall, the creator of this amazing series. I think as we were talking earlier, again, I lived in Mississippi. We know people who are from the Delta of Mississippi. It is one of the poorest areas in the country. And having grown up in southern Louisiana in a small town, having lived in the Jackson, Mississippi metropolitan area at a time, you know that there are so many of these communities that you have politicians who promise them big things like, oh, we're going to bring a casino, or we're going to bring a chemical plant, or we're going to bring XYZ to the area. And they promise so many jobs and so much opportunity. And the people who are there are displaced, or they're not able to get the jobs that were promised there, and it really causes a lot of deterioration in that area. And so I really like the fullness of the characters. What I really love about stories like a series like P-Valley, like Queen Sugar, like The Wire back in the day, like Treme as well back in the day, is the city, the community is a character as well. And so Chucalissa is a fictitious place, but it's like so many places that we know. And again, where I don't know, I'm just looking forward to this series continuing. So they have been renewed, of course, for a second season. What I've heard is that there's going to be more character development. So we're going to learn more of the backstories. And one of the things that Brandy, I can't remember what Brandy's last name is, the young lady who plays Mercedes, said on one of her lives is that, you know, Katori has a lot of detailed storylines about each one of the characters and how they all got to Chucalissa. But one of the things she also said was that a lot of the women that they worked with to get to this point in terms of preparing, you know, for this strip club, what have you, lifestyle, many of those dancers were very grateful that they were showing the wholeness and the fullness of who they are. Because, you know, if you do go to a strip club, or even if you have, you know, any entertainment thing, right? You go to a football game, you go to a basketball game, you see that person in one light as a ball player or, you know, a dancer or what have you. But there's a whole lot that went on before that person got to that place. So I love it. I love Uncle Clifford. I think I just love that we've come so far in television. We still have a ways to go, don't get me wrong, but I love that we've come so far to see a trans woman, a Black trans woman, playing this role, and just unapologetic. I love that. So yes, I'm a fan of P-Valley. I can't wait till it comes back. And if you haven't got on P-Valley, come on, binge it, because it's about 10 episodes, I believe, for this season. So it's not a lot. So you can binge it until it comes back, because, you know, with stars, mess around with stuff like Power, they take about, look like a year and a half before they decide to come back with stuff. So you probably have time. And speaking of Power, I know we didn't have this on the agenda, but
it lives on.
I'm gonna keep watching Ghost Offspring, but I don't know. It would. I'm lying. I don't know if I'm gonna continue to watch this Power book too. I love Mary. Everybody know I love Mary. Mary is my dog in my mind. We're best friends. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this book too, though. So, but P-Valley, love it. Love the characters. Love the depth of them. Love that the community, the whole backstory there, and our collective prayers have saved the Pynk. So we're doing good. Amen. Amen.
Our collective prayers, our fish fries, and all that good stuff have saved the Pynk. And honey, if you ain't never been to a nightclub that sells some fried fish and chicken wings, y'all don't know what type of nightclubs you've been to. But that's how they do down in the country, baby, down in the valley for sure. I've been to a time or two. That's all I can let you know. I've been a time or two. I just want the accents to change. Girl, they was trying to get that Memphis twang, I think. So yeah. And so I really enjoyed it. I loved it. And it's very, very much worth it's worth a watch. And I think it'll be worth to see the character development But kind of tying back up to some of the things we said at first about the lady who tried to come for Cardi B. You see, you only see people in one light. You don't know what they fullness of their story. You don't know their backstory. You don't know what they've overcome, and you don't know what they're coming through. So there ain't no need for no judgment about anybody at their station in life. We need to be celebrating everybody for that they are still standing where they standing right in the here and now. That's number one. Number two, it is great to see all this beautiful blackness being celebrated on television. But if you don't get out there and vote, and if you play around, it's going to be erased out of our real life. And that's what we were talking about earlier when it comes to 45 and talking about these trying to take out this the diversity training and eliminating these things and saying that systemic racism does not exist and all of this stuff that they have been saying in terms of policing and everything. Listen, if you have not registered to vote, if you are registered to vote, and you need to definitely go to vote.org, you need to check your registration. Make sure, because honey, they like to purge the rolls now. We know these games they're playing. So check your voter registration. Make sure that you are registered. If you are going to do an absentee ballot, go ahead and request your absentee ballot. And as we're saying now, don't trust the mail. I think I shared with some of y'all, I ordered some stamps because, I'm trying to save the post office. I ordered 3 books of stamps and some other stuff. And y'all know when I ordered that, I got a confirmation this morning that my order shipped. I ordered that on August 19th. What's today? And I ordered it from USPS.com. We're not playing these games. So you get your ballot, you go turn your ballot in, whether it's your Secretary of State, your county clerk, your whatever, you go turn that ballot in. And don't listen to this fool telling these people talking about and then go vote at the line. No, make a choice. You either vote by the ballot mail, you doing early voting where you're going to get in line during the early voting period, or you're going to be there on election day. But you decide. But vote.org give you all the information you need on voting. And yes, so somebody said go vote. We got another one, go vote. With another one, 8645, go vote. Yes, absolutely. Y'all get out there and vote because we got to change the trajectory of the situation. It's not going to change overnight, and it can absolutely get worse than what it is right now. So that's all I have to say in closing for tonight. I thank y'all for tuning in and watching. Hey, sister, you got any closing comments for the folks?
Sure. Well, just to reiterate, go vote, and understand that the ramifications are much greater than just the president of the United States. Although we do want to get rid of that fool, and I have no problems. It is not about respecting or disrespecting the office. I have no respect for that man. So we do want to get rid of him, but we also want to make sure that we are being active in our communities, because just like we were saying about Daniel Prude and the way police handle our Black men and women, our people, our friends, family members, people in general, we need to be able to put people in office who understand why funding for social services are important. But other than that, thank you all so much. I'm so happy to be here with my sister. And it's been great. So love y'all. Thank y'all for y'all support.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.